Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show, Saturday, July 10th. The countdown is on to the All-Star break. Just 2 days left of MLB regular season action in the first half of the season. And we're here to break down a big Saturday card. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and our special guest, as always, every Saturday on this show, David Sharpe, Sharpie Bets. Make sure you check out his strikeout props, which are hot fire right now with what he is doing with those bets. So I'm sure he'll have a bunch for us on this show today. Let's get to it. Of course, lots of day game action, as we always have on a Saturday, starting with the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. We've got Ross Stripling, Ryan Yarbrough, your pitching matchup here. Rays about $1.20, 25 home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. The Rays getting the better of it last night, whipping the Jays 7-1 in that game. The Blue Jays bats cold in that game. They didn't save anything after a 10-run outburst a couple of days ago against Baltimore. They get shut down pretty much by McClanahan and a slew of very solid performances by the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen. Ross Stripling will be looking to bounce back here, help the Jays bounce back, and he might be the guy to do it. He's been really good. He worked on it on a mechanical flaw in his delivery about a month and a half ago, and he could pretty much trace it back to that point as to why he's been a different pitcher really ever since then. Really, it's been something to see for Stripling. His last 7 starts, he has given up 3 runs or less in all but one of those. So he has given the Blue Jays pretty much consistency every time out there. The Blue Jays are 5-2 in his last 7 starts, so they've been able to win with him on the mound. It's Ryan Yarbrough on the mound for the Rays here. In this game, he's actually in some really good form of late as well. You've got a guy that's given up just 2 runs or less in 5 of his last 6 starts. So he's really been pitching and dealing lately for this Rays team as well. And he shut down the Blue Jays just 6 days ago. 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 5 innings of work in that game. In fact, both of these pitchers pitched against this opposing team last weekend in the series in Buffalo between the Blue Jays and the Rays. So it's a tricky one. I know part of me believes this, and David, I know definitely believes this, that the second time around against that same pitcher in a week, sometimes that's bad news for the pitcher that next time out. So, does that invite the possibility for runs in this game? You got a, manageable total of 8.5, perhaps. I don't know. Stripling, though, has been in good form. The Jays bullpen is really boosted themselves. They've made a couple of deals, get a couple of arms in here, and we know the Rays bullpen last night was outstanding. So I don't have a strong feel on this game one way or another, side or total. Just a concept that maybe you could look at the over here today, just based on the fact that it's a pitcher facing that same lineup for the second time in a week. And sometimes that's usually good news for the lineup. They can make adjustments and have a better approach at the plate. Connor, what do you think here, Jays versus Rays?
Yeah, this is the same game that got me last week, where I thought the Jays would get to Yarbrough, and he pitched 5 innings. He only gave up 1 run. A couple guys hit him really, really well. Biggio, Grillick, a few other guys, Uriel, Hernandez, Guerrero. They don't have great numbers, but they all have multiple home runs. Hernandez 4, Vladdy has a couple. And that's what with Yarbrough, I think they look around for the kind of the 3-run home run too much, this team. And they sometimes don't get it. Last night, they had the bases loaded a couple of times, especially in the first. So, yeah, tricky spot. Seeing him the second time in a week, they've had success off Yarbrough. He is a lefty. This lineup should hit him. And Yarbrough's a pitcher that pitches well, from one game, and he can get rocked in another. He doesn't have too much, he's not fooling anybody. He doesn't throw gas or anything like that. So I lean the Jays a little bit. They burned me yesterday, but I lean them that way. And their team total's 3.5. I know Sharpie thought it was a trap. I guess it was, but when it comes down to it, you couldn't score runs. When there's men on scoring position, they didn't get it done. Maybe they get it done today. So I still lean their team total over here as well. It's 3.5.
Yeah, Blue Jays would be the lean for me as well. 0.71 ERA this season in 2 starts against the Rays for Ross Stripling. So he's really, really neutralized and shut down this lineup. But David,
I wrote down I lean the Jays first 5, but like you said, they're both coming off of starts where they're facing each other. So I had to dig into it a little more. And Stripling has been good both times he's been versus this this Rays team. And Yarbrough hasn't been bad either. He's given up 3 hits and 4 hits. And like Connor said, they're home runs, though. One game it's 1 run, and the other game it's 3 runs. That's telling me under first 5. If Yarbrough's worst day is a 3 and Stripling's worst day versus this team is a 1, we're sitting at 4 runs, guys. That's under 4.5 right there. So I'm gonna look at that 4.5 a little more after this show.
All right, there we go. Looking at that potentially as a way to go here in this game between the Blue Jays and the Rays. Next up, we've got Detroit taking on Minnesota. We've got Kyle Funkhauser. We want the funk. Da, 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 da. Get up on that funk. And Bailey Ober for the Minnesota Twins in this one. Minnesota minus 185, minus 190. Home favorites 9.5. The total. Yes, Funkhauser making a spot start here for the Detroit Tigers out of the bullpen. 2.59 ERA, 3, and has pitched really well actually out of the bullpen for the Tigers this year. You got Bailey Ober on the mound for the Twins, 4.85 ERA. Not much to really like about the way he's pitched for the most part for the Twins. It's one of those games. The Twins are starting to pick it up, though. Play really good ball. They've won 5 of their last 7. 4 of their last 6 games they've won. They've won the first 2 games of this series against the Tigers. I'd be tempted, though, a little bit by the Tigers in the first 5 in this game. Don't really love it because the Twins are in good form, but I got no problem taking a shot at least, maybe with the Tigers against a pitcher in Bailey Ober, who to me is just nothing to write home about. The thing with Funkhauser starting is we're going to see primarily a bullpen day for the Detroit Tigers, and a bullpen that has depth in it, that's not Detroit's bullpen. And so you're going to be seeing a bunch of their middle relief today. And I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing for them because, Funkhauser, is not going to be a guy that's going to be out there throwing, more than 5 innings likely, if he even gets to 5 innings. So the door could be open for some runs. I guess Tigers first 5 lean, over 9.5 lean for me in this game today. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Tigers and Twins?
Yeah, I'll be quick here. Twins played a little bit well yesterday. Maeda pitched well, in and out. He got your K-prop Sharpie, which was good. Ober, we'll see. This kid does have okay stuff. I think he's a little rushed right now. I mean, I just don't think he's a regular starter in the big leagues, and I don't think he should be minus 180, right around there. So I lean the Tigers first 5 as well. Just a huge price. Funkhauser's been dominant. He's been one of their best bullpen guys. He's really only got hit hard really 1 time in his relief appearances. He gave up 4 runs. But other than that, he said a 2 ERA. He's pitched well, but he's only going to go 2 innings, I think. I mean, I don't see him going more than that, maybe 3. But I lean the Tigers first 5 here. It's just too big of a plus price.
Yeah, I would think so too. But then I started thinking as well, you got the All-Star break after tomorrow. You probably he ain't going to be available to pitch tomorrow anyway. Because of that, you might actually see them extend him a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be a for sure. But if there's one day that you could say, you know what, in a spot start, we can roll this guy out there for more than just 2 innings, maybe see if he can give us 3, 4, even 5, it would be today because the All-Star break is coming. And he's already not going to be available to pitch tomorrow anyway. So you could see the Tigers think that way and maybe give him a longer leash, I guess, if you will, in this start today. David, what do you think here, Tigers, Twins?
We got 10 miles per hour wind coming in. Very little chance of rain, just for that forecast. No way in hell should Bailey Ober be a minus 180, guys. I said this about Dunning the other day, but at least he was going up against Urania, so that at least made some sense. So I laid off of it. I'm not staying off of it right here. Like, these guys both have the same exact number on bullpens, 15 to 30 days. So if Funkhauser can just get us through the first 5, giving up 2 or 3, I see Ober giving them up 2 or 3. So I'm going to take Detroit plus a half run and expect a close to a tie game and still get that at plus money. I believe I got it at plus 105 or 110.
Yeah. I saw too much. I saw the wind, but with these 2 pitchers, with Funkhauser, how long he's going to go, and Ober, because I looked at that first 5, could it stay under? Possibly. Of course, you got to get 6. But with these 2 offenses, and Funkhauser, you don't know, and Ober, how long they're going to go. I had to stay off.
Yeah, I just had to take the little bit of plus money against Ober. He shouldn't have been there. Not in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you one bit for that. It's a big, big price for a guy that's nothing special on the mound. The White Sox and the Orioles. We've got Lucas Giolito and Tom Eshelman, your pitching matchup in this game here. White Sox, a significant road favorites here, minus 200. The total 10 across the board here in this one. Connor and I both cashing over the total in this game last night between the White Sox and the Orioles, largely thanks to the White Sox, who just did damage against that pretty bad Baltimore bullpen in the latter innings of that game. And now Tom Eshelman makes the start here for the Orioles. And I'll tell you what, right now with Eshelman, the guy that's not someone I'll be backing here, not someone I'm very interested in, even at a big underdog price, getting behind. Not a guy that I have a whole lot of faith and confidence in. This guy's been around in a couple of different organizations, and he's not been particularly great wherever he's been. And in the last two of his last three starts, he's actually, you could say all three starts, he's been roughed up. 6 runs in 4 innings against the Astros. Then he faced the Astros again just 5 days later and gave up 2 runs and just lasted 3.2 innings. And then against the Angels, 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 innings. All 3 of those games go over the total, 13-0, 9-7, 6-5. Were the final scores in that game. So not exactly a good form for Eshelman coming into this start. He's only pitched 4.24, 3.24. So you're going to see, I would say, pretty much a certainty you're going to see at least 4 or 5 innings out of a very, very bad Baltimore bullpen once again today, just like we saw last night. So this should be, if you want to go White Sox team total, you're obviously going to have to pay a premium for it, but I wouldn't talk you out of that. They should score in bunches here today. Question is, what does Baltimore do against Lucas Giolito, who, to be honest with you, has not had a great season? He just hasn't. 4.2 ERA overall, 5.18 ERA on the road this season, which isn't very good. Last start against Detroit was ugly. 6 runs allowed, 10 hits, 5 innings. And in fact, with Giolito now, we've got a pattern of 5 straight overs in his last 5 starts. So, that is going to be the question mark. Now, the good news for Giolito is he faced the Orioles once this season already. May 30th, dominated them. 12 strikeouts, 1 run, 3 hits, and 7 innings. So he pitched extremely well, which is exactly why I'm going back and forth here. What do I do? Do I go White Sox team total over because I'm convinced they'll score runs in bunches against a struggling hurler and Eshelman and a really bad bullpen? Or do I trust Baltimore to scratch out, 3-4 runs at least while White Sox get the rest? That's the question here. But I lean full game over. I might play it safe, though, and just say bank on the White Sox to get theirs. Maybe not quite as confident that the Orioles can get theirs off Giolito. But look, Giolito's not in great form right now. And his road ERA has been suspect. So maybe the Orioles can get a few runs on the board. And like I say, the offense ain't the problem for the Orioles with, Mullins, and you've got Mountcastle, and you've got Mancini, and you've got Santander. You have a pretty decent lineup here for Baltimore. That's never been their problem. It's been their pitching. So White Sox team total over for sure will be on that. And I also might take a little stab at the full game over as well, just hoping the the Orioles can do a little bit as well in this game against Giolito and the White Sox bullpen, which to me hasn't been quite as good as we thought it would be coming into the season either. Conor Mac, what do you think here? White Sox, Orioles.
Yeah, Giolito, that start you're talking about, May 30th, that's the last time he gave up 1 run. He's given them, not a shutout, nothing. I mean, other than that, it's been 6 innings. And it's been 2-3-2, 3-6. His last one in Detroit. Yeah, it's difficult. The Orioles had pathetic at bats yesterday. The White Sox had to do everything there. Maybe it looks better today, and they do have the sticks if they can get going. They're at home, but yeah, I think take the away team. You get the extra at bat. You can go run line. They're about the same price. The team total over 5.5 is just about the same price as the run line. I think you can't go wrong with either of those, and I think the Orioles should score a few here off Giolito. So I lean the full game over 10 as well again.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, the Orioles against righties aren't doing too bad. 5.76 runs per game the last 10 against righties. And then you look at this situation here for the White Sox against righties, 317 average, 8 runs per game against right. They are crushing it right now against right-handed pitching. So keep that in mind going into this start today. David Sharpe, what do you like here? Baltimore, Chicago.
Shout out to the chat, guys. 100 here on Saturday morning, bro. Fucking let's go. Thank you all to the pub fucking Discord crew. Fuck yeah, guys. See you in a minute. Here we go. Myself, I'm on the over 10. Like you guys yesterday, I was on the over 10.5. When game started, it dropped to an 8.5. I grabbed the 8.5 too. Just like in this game, if it starts to drop on the live total, I'm not afraid, guys. I'm already liking the over. I'm going to grab every number else they give me on this game. Not on every game, but on this game. We've got 2 bad bullpens, like Ian was saying, and we've got Eshelman and Giolito. Giolito, spider tack. Last 4 games should say enough, guys. He's giving up 2, 3, 4 runs every time. He's going to give us up at least 2. The Orioles yesterday had numerous of chances to score runners. Like, they were pissing me off, and the White Sox had to do it all. So if the Orioles chip in at all today, guys, it should be an easy over 10, especially with 85 degrees out in Baltimore today.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're going to see some runs here in this one. I'm going White Sox team total over. I like that one better, but hopefully Baltimore can put a good at-bat or 2 together and get some runs. And you're right, Giolito on the road, not good. Giolito, not a coincidence that the last few starts coinciding with the crackdown have not been as good for him. So definitely something to that. Oakland, Texas, Caprillion, Fultonevich, your pitching matchup here. A's around minus 130, minus 135 here, road favorites. Actually, it's gone up to minus 140 in most spots with Oakland on the road. 9 the total here in this game. James Caprillion on the mound for the Oakland Athletics, 2.84 ERA overall, 2.84 his last 3 starts. So pitching well. How about 0-3 though, Oakland? In his last 3 starts, yet the guy has a 2.84 ERA. So yeah, he's been victimized by an offense that hasn't hit for him consistently. And 2 of those losses, believe it or not, were against this Texas team for Oakland with Caprillion on the mound. They lost 5-3 to Texas. They lost 5-4 to Texas with him on the mound, yet he only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings in the one start, 3 runs in 6 innings in the other start. So he didn't pitch that bad, but they just haven't had run support. I'll tell you what, I felt yesterday laying the price with Oakland was, I don't want to say a trap because I don't believe in traps, but I said I don't want to do it. Something is off with this team right now. They're not hitting. They're not playing great baseball. They're only 2-6 in their last 8 games, Oakland. So they are really scuffling going into the All-Star break here. So that does bother me. We've got Mike Fultonevich on the mound for the Rangers. 2 of his last 3 starts, both of them against Oakland, have been better. He struggled a little against Seattle in his last start, but still got to 7 innings, but he ran out of gas, gave up 4 runs. Still not a terrible start. He has shown some improvement. But the fact that 2 of his better starts came against Oakland, and Texas won both of those games. Dare I say it, is there value on Fultonevich in Texas here in this game? Maybe, because I'm not in a rush to lay a price on the road with Oakland right now. I like Caprillion, but man, he lost 2 games to Texas because they didn't hit for him. Oakland's just not hitting right now, period. Bases loaded, multiple innings last night. They couldn't get that clutch hit. They end up losing 3-2. Just not a team I like at the moment in the way they're playing. And they look like they need the All-Star break. And, when that's the teams that are struggling going into the break, on this card today, I'm not looking to back them. A lot of times they just want to get the hell to the All-Star break, recharge the batteries, and then come back strong again, hopefully in the second half. That could be Oakland here. They look like they're just, coughing, hacking, and wheezing their way to the All-Star break finish line right now. I want no part of Oakland here. It'd be Texas or pass. What do you think, C-Mac?
Yeah, this one's interesting because it's the 3rd time they're, in 3 weeks, June 23rd, the 29th, and now. Yesterday, I love this under first 5. It's out of 5 again, but the 3rd time seeing these guys. And both times they pitched well, 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 runs for both of them. So difficult. I think they could hit, but the A's have just been in a huge slump. Rangers have hit a little bit better lately. They're at home. I leaned them yesterday, and I didn't take them full game. It's just one I'm going to stay off of because it's the 3rd time. Or maybe the A's break out a little bit off Fultonevich. I don't trust him. He's pitched better as of late. I mean, he went 7 innings, he gave up 4 in his last start to Seattle. just a kind of a tricky spot, and I don't want to deal with the A's as a favorite here, -130. So it was a pass for me.
All right, Sharpie, you got anything with Oakland and Texas?
I don't have big balls to back Fulte, but I could totally understand anybody fucking out there, guys. The fucking A's are the worst team in fucking baseball hitting right now, guys. They're just not fucking hitting the ball. They're 30th. Like,
score runs,
like
yeah.
they can't score a run. Like, I lean first 5 over 5 because, like Connor said, there's the third time in a fucking 21-day period you guys are facing off. But you haven't shown me anything that you can hit the ball. Like, you're making guys like Jordan Lyles look fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't back them right now until the A's turn it around and start playing good ball. Maybe it is going to be after the All-Star break. Maybe they are gassed and tired. Like, this is just not enough plus money for me to back Fulte. If it was like plus 160, I'd think about it, but not at plus 120.
All right, next up, we've got the Nats and the Giants. San Francisco right now with Anthony DeSclafani on the mound for them. John Lester for the Nationals. San Francisco -200 in this game. 8.5 is the total. San Francisco Giants, Anthony DeSclafani, I mean, one of the great stories of the season, if you will, for the San Francisco Giants. I mean, what they've collectively been able to get from him and from Kevin Gossman, it's been incredible to see this season how they have pitched for the Giants in this one. Lester, not so much. John Lester has had a rough go of it for this Nationals team. We know it's been a consistent and steady decline the last 2-3 seasons for John Lester, and really that's continued this year as well. It's been a rough ride. 5 runs, 6 hits, 3.1 innings last start against the Padres. 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings against the Rays before that. 7 runs, 5 hits, 2.1 innings against the Marlins before that. I mean, this is just some dreadful stuff right here for John Lester in his last 3 starts. Just hasn't been very good. And like I said, with DeSclafani, it's other than one bad start against the Dodgers, it stands out like a sore thumb where he gave up the 10th spot. Everything else other than that, 0-1-2-2, 0-2, 0-3-2 in terms of runs allowed. So this actually looks like a spot where I might go with the run line here on the Giants in this one a little bit. I lean that way. I definitely think they will win this game. The bullpen for the Nationals really hasn't been good lately either, so you can't even count on them if Lester's struggling in this game. So it definitely looks like a Giants win and a Giants spot. You could go run line. You could go team total as well. Giants, the last 10 games, 263 average, 4.3 runs per game against lefties. They should be able to have some success here facing John Lester, pretty much like everybody has. Now, they do have a couple bats questionable due to injuries. Posey on the IL now with a thumb injury. Lamonte Wade, who's shown you a lot of promise at the plate. He missed last night with the left hand strain, and he may not be in the lineup today either for the Giants. But nevertheless, I think they'll still be able to do some damage. I definitely would look at the team total, if anything, here for the Giants. So the one thing about the run line is you're not getting a great price, and it's a home team run line. I prefer the road team when I'm backing a -1.5 run line, but the team total definitely will be on that for the San Francisco Giants today. Connor, what do you think here? Nats, Giants.
I think that might be a solid look. Also, I don't know, maybe the full game over 8.5. Lester just hasn't been good on the road, and he just hasn't been good the last month or so at all. The wind's blowing out again. I don't know, 13, 14. I don't know what you guys have, the left center. DeSclafani, yeah, been solid all year. Giants last night had him first 5, came through half a run. I'd lean them here. This was one I wanted to throw to Sharpie. DeSclafani's been really great. I see his K prop at 4.5. I know it's -140, but I was looking his last, bunch of starts. What's he got? 7, 6, 9, 5, 8. Didn't know if you were looking to him his K prop over today. I want to ask you.
Well, really, I didn't even look into it yet. Because Washington Nationals and Pittsburgh, certain teams like that, like they don't strike out. So they're teams that those are the last type of people I will look at. But going through it, like at a quick glance, Padres don't strike out. He got 3 and 3 both times versus them. Pittsburgh doesn't strike out. He got 5. So they're putting it right at that average versus teams who don't strike out. But when I dig into it, if I play it, I'll let you know. I just haven't dug super into him.
No, that's
I
good
like
info to
to find
me.
teams who strike out.
Yeah. And his last games were the
Arizona,
D-backs,
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're striking out 28% right now the last 2 weeks. The Dodgers
His last time on June 11th, though, against the Nats, he did get 8 Ks, but he did go 9 innings. So
Yes.
And we should be getting no Schwarber. So, I mean, take that into effect. Who's pitching on the other side? We got Lester, so he's not batting more than once. You know, you can take one at bat, and they're going to take him out. So you want to count in pitcher spot. If you got an ace like Rogers and Fried, you know they're going to be out there 2-3 at bats. Those are the at bats you want to attack.
Yeah, I want to give a quick.
By the way, forgot to throw that out there about. You're right, and Connor brought it up, but I forgot to throw it out there. Yes, complete game shutout for DeSclafani last month against the Nationals. So dominated them in that game.
I wanted to get a little thing. Yeah, a guy hit a jack last night. Flores. He's 6 for 9 with 3 home runs. Maybe a huge, plus price jack of the day or total bases. He's been hitting the ball better, Wilmer Flores. Yeah. So good numbers against Lester.
Yep, definitely.
I'm off the game though. I lean the 8.5 over too, though. Like I do really bad. But there's too many bats out the lineup for me to jump on the first 5, 4.5. I kind of want to watch it, see how it plays, and jump on the live as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Connor might be onto something with Flores. Definitely hitting better lately, and has that 5 for 16 and 3 home runs track record against John Lester. So definitely something to look at there. I'm just probably going to stick with the team total. You know, I don't have to worry about bullpens or anything. It's 4.5 minus 125. To be honest with you, if this wasn't San Francisco, this was like one of those teams we think of as a really potent offensive team, that this team total would be 5.5, I think, at least. So I think it's actually a discount that it's only 4.5 against Leicester right here at home too for the Giants.
Since Spider Tack, he's averaging, guys, 6.5 runs a game. That 4.5 seems kind of nice.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely it does. And I don't have to worry about the Nationals and what they do or don't do against DeSclafani, because he absolutely just completely steamrolled them in the last time he faced them, which was about a month ago. All right, Philadelphia and Boston here in this next game. This was as easy as it got for me last night over the total with these two teams, and it was pretty quickly it got over that number. There could be more of the same today, to be honest with you. Matt Moore, Martin Perez on the mound here. We got another total of 11 in this game. Boston minus 155, home favorites. Shame on me for putting a small piece on Philadelphia last night. I mean, I've got to stop with this, fade Boston. Maybe wait till after the All-Star break to fade Boston, because I do think at some point. Yeah, I do think at some point they're gonna. I do think at some point they're going to, come back down to earth a little bit, Boston, but I'm just going to wait now to the All-Star break. I'm certainly not backing Matt fucking Moore. There's no way I'm doing that here in this game today for the Philadelphia Phillies. It's a guy that, his best days are way behind him. I get it. The last start was actually okay for him, but he was in a fight for his life the whole time. 2 runs, 5 hits, 4 innings, had a couple of walks, gave up a home run. Yeah, now he's got to go to Fenway Park versus this hot-hitting Red Sox lineup, especially at home. Red Sox have really hit the ball well at home. Look what the Red Sox are doing at home this season against lefties in particular. 268 and 6.3 runs per game against lefties at home this year. So I think they're going to do some damage. I mean, Matt Moore faced a pathetic Cubs team. That lineup has underachieved all season, and now he's going to be taking a big step up in class this time around, facing the Boston Red Sox. On the other side of the equation, you've got Martin Perez. He's actually coming off a couple of good starts, against Kansas City and against the LA Angels. He gave up just 2 runs in each of those starts. Before that, he struggled against the Yankees, 3 runs, 6 hits, 3.2 innings. The one thing about Martin Perez is his home ERA and his numbers at Fenway still aren't very good. That's where he's really been at his worst this year. His overall numbers actually aren't that bad for Martin Perez standards, but 5.66 ERA here at Fenway, which isn't as good. And the Philadelphia Phillies right now, look, they've got their lineup going at a pretty good clip right now. We talked about it on yesterday's show when I said I like the over in that game, how Philadelphia, they're hitting the ball and they're spraying it right now. 13, 15, 8, 5, and 4 of their last 5 games. 6 straight overs, by the way, for Philadelphia. So again, I've talked about this. When you start to see a team go, consecutive games over the total, I like to ride the streak. I either ride the streak or I stay off the game. And that's probably what I would do here. And keep in mind, you still have what is a very, very bad Philadelphia bullpen, 6.95 ERA for that Phillies bullpen in the last 10 games, which is absolutely terrible. So I do think this sets up once again, like it did last night, to be a game where you should see runs both ways. I'm going to look toward over 11 here in this game with the Phillies and the Red Sox. Conor Mac, what do you think, Philly-Boston?
Yeah, just an ugly one. Two ugly left-handed starters I don't like here. Yeah, it's difficult. Now it's up to 11. It's even money. I didn't get it at 10.5. I'm sure there was some. And last night, I didn't get on that. And good numbers, like Didi, 4 for 11, 3 homers. Segura, 7 for 25, 2 homers. And the Red Sox off more. Bogart, 6 for 12 with a jack. Both these teams can hit lefties all right. The Red Sox team totals over 5.5 at -120. They keep hitting. I mean, especially lately, especially at home. I'm looking at that, and the Phillies over 4.5 was -115. I kind of looked at that. I see runs, but I think I'm just going to stay off now that it's at 11.
Xander Bogaerts and J.D. Martinez for Jack of the Day against Matt Moore for sure. They both have a home run against them, and both of them 2 for 5, 6 for 12, 8 for 17 combined, Martinez and Bogaerts against Matt Moore. And look, there's some good numbers on the Phillies side as well against Martin Perez. Segura, 7 for 25, 2 home runs. You could even look at him. And certainly Didi Gregorius for the Phillies, 4 for 11 and 3 home runs, 3 bombs against Martin Perez in the past. Could definitely look at a Didi home run prop here as well in this one. So definitely some good. This is a good game for that kind of thing, home run props. Sharpie, what do you think here, Phillies and Red Sox?
I would have trifected it up, but Martin Perez is a fucking anomaly to me. Like, he used to be an auto fade, and now he's a fucking run for your life type shit. But I'm on the Red Sox team total over 5.5 full game. I missed the 10.5, but I'm on the 11 too. And if it drops live, I'm going to just keep pounding it, guys. This game should go over and should go over with ease. Like, these are two shitty pitchers versus two teams that are raking. And now that the Phillies lineup is the Phillies lineup, me and Connor were talking about this like a week ago. They have Hoskins batting 6th and Didi batting 7th. Like, that's up there with the Padres and Dodgers lineup, guys. Like, that's a legit 1 through fucking 8. You don't know who you want to go to. And in Fenway Park, the over is where I want to be on. So I'm a ride the over. I didn't take the Phillies team total because it was at 5.5 already. So I stayed off of that part from trying up, but I'm going Red Sox team total and full game over.
Yeah, don't even stop there. This young kid that they've got too, Alec Baum too. I mean, there's another guy. He's like batting 7th or 8th in that line.
Janikowski, the old Padre kid, dude. He's a stud.
Yeah, and he's a part. He's a guy that comes off the bench. He's not in the lineup every day, but boy, when he's been in there, he's gotten some big hits for them. And even the Luke Williams kid, that's like right at the bottom of the lineup, he had a walk-off homer once earlier this season as well. So definitely this Phillies lineup, you look at them and you said when they were struggling, this should be a lineup that should do damage. They should be better than this. And now maybe they needed the weather to warm up, the 90-degree heat to get here, the winds to start blowing out like they've been doing the last week or so. But now they're starting to realize the potential of what that offense can be. No question about that. All right, next game here, Atlanta, Miami. We've got Max Fried and Trevor Rogers, lefty battle here. Miami, -115 home favorites, 7 the total in this one. Definitely stands out like it could be a runs at a premium type of game. Definitely would be at least interested. First 5 under 3.5. Definitely is of interest to me. We know Trevor Rogers has got bet on all the way. There's just no way I'm going against this guy and the way he has been pitching this year for the Marlins. Terrific numbers, 2.22 ERA, 2.37 ERA for him at home. Just been remarkably consistent. He has given up now 2 runs or less, guys, 9 of his last 10 starts. How about that? How's that for consistency? 9 of his last 10 starts, 2 runs or fewer given up by Trevor Rogers. So real impressive work by him throughout the course of the season. The Braves are hitting lefties pretty decently right now, but I don't know if they'll hit this guy. He has been really, really solid. He pitched against the Braves earlier this year, 2 runs in 5 innings in that game. So we'll see how he fit. I was back in April. Max Fried on the other side on the mound here for the Braves. Definitely had an uncharacteristic start last time out. I was shocked to see it. Not that he pitched bad, but that he pitched bad against the lineup he pitched bad against, Pittsburgh. I mean, my goodness, 6 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings in that start for Max Fried. But prior to that, he had been pitching relatively well and consistently as well. In fact, most of his starts, other than 3 starts, 7 of his last 10, he's also given up 2 runs or less. So a chance probably for him to bounce back. The Marlins did absolutely nothing at the plate last night against Old Man Morton. They're only hitting 221 this season against lefties. In fact, if you pare it down to the last 10 games, they're only hitting 214 as a team against lefties and 2.2 runs per game against lefties. So this one has first 5 under 3.5, in my opinion, written all over it. That would be the way I would lean here. Lean Miami, but boy, they're not hitting much. This might be a game where, because I'm so petrified about whether the Marlins will hit today, because they're facing a pretty good pitcher too, I'm pretty sure the Braves could be held in check. Maybe you go Braves team total under. That's always the way you could go if you think, hey, Rogers will shut him down, but I don't know what we're going to get from the Marlins lineup today. And if you feel that way, then you could go maybe with a Braves team total under. I mean, because you look at the way Rogers has pitched, and what the other team has gotten. You look at it 4-2, 3. He has been able to do a very good job keeping these teams in check. What is that Braves team total right now? It looks like it's at 3.5, so it's not a lot of wiggle room. But that would be the way I would go. I'd probably prefer. I like Miami. I lean Miami, but personally in this matchup, I'm thinking Braves team total under might be the better bet rather than Marlins first 5 or full game, because I just don't know what you're going to get from this, up and down feeble lineup against Max Fried today. Connor, what do you think here, Braves Marlins?
Yeah, is Max Fried going to bounce back from just a horrible outing against the Pirates of all teams too? This was a difficult one. I love Rogers all year. I backed him. I lean the Marlins here. But like they showed yesterday, they just can't hit at times. They can't score runs. Right away when you look at this, you think these two pitchers under. But these guys have great numbers against both these pitchers. I mean, Duvall's, these guys over 10 at-bats, but 3 for 6, 2 homers. Alfaro 3 for 7. Marte 3 for 9. Rojas 5 for 14 with a homer. And the Braves have hit Rogers a little bit, 2 for 5, 2 for 5, 3 for 6 Albies, 3 for 4 Swanson. So pretty good numbers against these lefties. I don't trust both these teams. I lean Marlins with Rogers a little bit, maybe first 5, but it was a pass for me. And it might go over, but these guys could dazzle too. It's tough, and both these lineups can't hit at times. So, yeah,
exactly. What do you think here, Sharpie? Atlanta, Miami.
I'm on my Max Fried's K prop. I believe it's at 5.5 at -140 is what I bet it at. Yeah, -140. Miami's striking out at a 31% clip right now the last 2 weeks versus lefties. Take Fried up against anybody versus a 27%. He's 3-4 to that number in his last 7 games versus teams of those natures. The reason why he got hit by Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh don't strike out, guys. And when I was looking at that -200, I was like, for a team who doesn't strike out to lefties, they're going to put the ball in play. That means they got to catch the fucking ball. And at -200, I don't want a guy where they're going to catch the ball. Like, I want a guy putting these guys down at -200. So, I mean, he's got 7 versus St. Louis, who doesn't strike out. He got 5 versus Pittsburgh, who doesn't strike out. So even if they hit him, I see 6. Even if they hit him, I see 6. I see 7 realistically, but I see a 2-2 ball game. I see it getting over the 3.5. They can't be this bad again today, guys. The Marlins just can't. They had really, really good numbers versus Morton, like extremely good numbers, and just didn't hit yesterday. Does it happen again? I would like to say yes for my strikeout prop, but I don't see it.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting game. No question about that. But I trust the pitching more than I trust the hitting. Let's put it that way with these two arms. Pittsburgh, yeah.
With Rogers K prop, Atlanta's striking out only 25.5% the last 2 weeks. So if they're not at the 27 number, I try not even to look at these guys. I want the number to tell me they're swinging and missing.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you're going to handicap strikeout props, and that's definitely David Sharpe's domain, you don't want to just look at the opposing the pitcher. What you want to know is strikeout numbers in his last 10 starts or whatever. But you got to know the team he's going up against. Is whether they're patient at the plate or whether they strike out a lot. You got to know that side of the equation as well, no doubt. Pittsburgh and New York Mets. You've got Tyler Anderson. You've got Marcus Strowman. The pitching matchup here. Mets minus 200. Home favorites. 6 the total here in this game. This is the first of a day-night doubleheader between these two teams today. Anderson and Strowman in the first game. Mets just absolutely did a number on the Pirates, 13-4 last night. Blew that game wide open, and I think they should be able to have some success here in this one. It's always tricky, with the Mets in terms of trusting them to hit on a daily basis. But I do think against Anderson, they could have some success here. He doesn't have good numbers on the road this year. Tyler Anderson, Nimmo, Conforto, VR are guys that have hit him in the past. On the flip side, you've got Marcus Strowman on the mound for the New York Mets, who, to be honest with you, most of the season, pretty solid numbers for Strowman. Last start was a little bit rougher for him. The last 2, in fact, 9 runs, 11 hits, 8 innings against the Phillies and against the Yankees. So Strowman is in need of a little bit of a bounce back. Prior to that, though, it had been a heck of a season for him. We'll see how he fares here. He's back home, though, at Citi Field. He has a 2.25 ERA overall this season, pitching here in this ballpark. So really good numbers at home throughout the season for Marcus Strowman. Mets, to me, should win this. I'm passing on the game, but Pittsburgh's just not in very good form right now. The Mets have been just terrific at home. 27-12 is their home record this year at Citi Field. So they have been awesome in this ballpark. They're actually in some pretty good form. So definitely not interested in fading the Mets here. But again, it's well priced. Not going to get involved in it. Connor, what do you think here, Pirates and Mets?
Yeah, doubleheader. I'm off here, especially with these two teams. Strowman's a big number. The Mets, we talked about the Phillies lineup getting healthy. So are the Mets. They're starting to score runs. The total 6 here. I could see this going under, but I could see it going over as well. And we got to see the lineups too, because obviously this is going to be a doubleheader. Who's going to be in both these teams' lineups? I'd like to take the Pirates here, but me and these doubleheaders, I just stay off here.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a get-well spot for Strowman here. I mean, the last 2 starts, not great, but now you're back home. You pitched well. Pittsburgh, by the way, 30th OPS, 30th runs per game. I mean, you talk about bringing up the rear in a lot of offensive categories as a team. Pittsburgh is that team. David Sharpe, what do you think here, Pirates, Mets?
I'm thinking I'm going to take me a little shot on this Pirates first 5 plus a half at plus 105 right now. Looking into Anderson. Yeah, looking into Anderson, he's given up 2 to 3 runs versus teams that have been crushing the ball versus lefties. The White Sox, Milwaukee Brewers, they've been smashing lefties the last few weeks. This team has not. The Mets on paper are not hitting. I mean, yes, they got Nimmo back in their lineup, and their lineup is way different with him batting number 1. They are putting runs up. But I look on the paper, and Pittsburgh and Mets are at the same number batting OPS-wise the last 15 to 30 days. They're pretty much the same team hitting. Yes, Strowman is a 3 to a 2, where I have Anderson as a 4, but not at a plus 165 for the first 5. I don't think there's that much of a difference in the stats for that to be that big of a difference.
Yeah, the number's just too big now with Strowman. It's just tough to, with him at minus 200, it's just so difficult to take. Here. So I don't blame you. I like it.
Yeah, and by the way, and of course, because the Pirates are the record they have, and the Mets are what they are, and especially at home, that's another reason you get the price you get. Let's do the second game of the doubleheader. Actually, we'll do that one right now as well. Second game of the doubleheader, Pirates and Mets, is Tyler McGill for the Mets and Max Kranick for the Pittsburgh Pirates. In this one, the Mets once again, just like they are in Game 1, minus 200. Just north of that, minus 205 in some spots. Home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Now, Max Kranick is that mystery pitcher where We haven't seen a lot of him. We haven't seen him since he pitched in a spot start June 27th against the St. Louis Cardinals, and he shut him out. No hit shutout in 5 innings. In fact, perfect game through 5 innings for Max Kranick against the St. Louis Cardinals that day. And he hasn't really pitched since then. So what are we going to get from him here in the second game is the big question. Could he settle? This could be a game where maybe you look Pirates, but a little bit potentially. McGill, on the mound for the Mets. We'll have to wait and see how he fares here. But his numbers so far have been okay. 2.89 ERA at home, 3.77 ERA overall. But the strikeouts have been there the last 2 starts against Milwaukee and Atlanta. He's had 15 strikeouts, in the last 2 starts combined. So that could be a good sign for him going into this one. Kranick's a mystery, though. I mean, I remember thinking, boy, his numbers in the minors were terrible, and yet he shuts out and, perfect games the St. Louis Cardinals through 5 innings in that one start. So what are you going to get from him is a question here. I guess I'd have the slight lean to Pittsburgh here in this game, but other than that, probably a game I want to see Kranick one more time, and if he pitches well again, then maybe he'll convince me. But got to see more of a sample size than just 1 5-inning stint. Connor, what do you think game 2 of this doubleheader?
Yeah, real quick with McGill. I mean, he's a huge number now here. The Kranick, he pitched that game here, but I mean, just in July 18th to Memphis, he gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Iowa, just in AAA, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. Walks, guys giving him in AAA. I want nothing to do with him. But Mets, again, you got McGill minus 200. You mentioned his strikeouts. I didn't know the Sharpe, you think he can get over. I haven't seen it listed today, but I know it's a guy you looked at. He throws hard.
Today, I'm not looking at him. This is one of the teams, the Pittsburgh Pirates, where I just don't play K props versus.
Yeah, you do.
Like you're rolling fucking fire going up against these Pittsburgh Pirates, bro. Since last year, they are the 3rd best team in putting the bat on the ball, guys. They just don't strike out. They're a really good team. They're going to be good in a few years. They've got number 1 prospects up and down that lineup, guys. Like, they're a legit team. They're young. Miguel is a stud. He averaged almost 14 strikeouts per 9 in the minors, guys. He is a legit thing. He's a real deal. But he went up against Milwaukee and the Braves, who are both 27% or higher the last month in strikeouts. So, yeah, he should have did that. That's what you should do when you average that many strikeouts. I don't want to risk my own money going up against a team that doesn't strike out, and they are juicing it. It'll probably be at at 6.5 or a 5.5? I'm not sure. It might be 5.5. But if you want to risk it, I can't hate you because they haven't seen him before, so that's an advantage pitcher first time through. So, I mean, technically, should he have 3-4 the first time through? Yes. Will he? I don't want to risk it. Pittsburgh just isn't the team I risk my money against. I am looking at Kanarek, or what's his name? Kanarek? Kranick. Yep. He, like you said, went up against St. Louis and held him down. St. Louis is one of the bottom of the barrel teams versus righties. Guess what the Mets are, guys? One of the bottom barrel teams versus righties. So if they win this game and that lineup, if the Mets win the first game and that lineup doesn't look the same, I'm going to look towards the under first 5 on this game. Both these teams just aren't really hitting. And I think Kranick could do his job and hold him down to 1 or 2 if he held St. Louis to 0.
All right, we got Kansas City and Cleveland next game on the slate here. Cleveland minus 120. I believe it is home favorites in this one. Yes, total 9 shaded to the under in this one. Cleveland Indians, apparently all they needed to get out of their slump was playing Kansas City because that's exactly what's happened. They were on a terrible skid. They win the first 2 games against Kansas City to get out of what was a 9-game losing streak going into it. So they've won the first 2 against the Royals. Cal Quantrill on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. I remember this guy being a decent pitcher in his San Diego Padres days. And I think in the bullpen this year for the Cleveland Indians, he had pitched actually pretty well. But as a starter, it's been a little bit bumpy up and down for him, 4.2 ERA overall. He has pitched better at home, though. We got a little bit of a home road split and dichotomy showing up here for Cal Quantrill. At home, he's pitched a lot better. 3 runs against a good Houston team in 5.1 innings his last start at home. Against Baltimore at home, 1 run in 4 innings. Against the White Sox at home, 1 run in 3.2 innings. So most of his rough outings have been on the road. The Minnesota start was ugly, but that was on the road. The Baltimore start was ugly. That was on the road. Has pitched a little bit better here at home. Maybe this is a start where he can pitch well because, look, I got to admit, this Kansas City lineup is not exactly hitting right now. It's been a rough go for the Royals lineup. They've lost 5 of their last 6. They've scored 2, 2, 2, 4, and 1 in the losses in those games. So this is just not a lineup that's feeling it at the moment. Mike Minor on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. He's had a rough last 3 starts, 9 runs, 11 hits, and 5 innings against Texas, 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings against Boston, 4 runs, 3 hits, 6 innings against Cincinnati. So he has really been roughed up in his last 3 outings. He pitched against the Cleveland Indians once this season, earlier this year. Cleveland wins that game 7-3. Game goes over the total. Cleveland gets 7 runs. I would look Cleveland money line first 5 full game split here, and I would probably look toward maybe for this lineup sometimes could make you want to pound your head against the wall, Cleveland as well, but maybe you could look at a 4.5 over their team total here as well. That's what I would go with. I would go with Cleveland to win, Cleveland to do the offensive damage, and I sure don't know or can trust Kansas City to return fire here. And again, Cal Quantrill's better starts and better performances have come at home this season. So I think it's a Cleveland side, and I think it's maybe a look to the Cleveland team total over as well for me. Conor Mac, what do you think here, Royals, Indians?
Yeah, these just 2 bums I want nothing to do with here. The Indians, the last few days, same price here, though. -125. The Indians won both games. I stayed off it. I don't like taking the Indians too much. I'd lean with them here. I would just go money line. -125. I took the over with those 2 pitchers in ERAs yesterday. Nothing happened. Zilch. And I don't want nothing to do with it again. And this game probably could get over with Minor on the mound. He's been hit a little bit lately. Quantrill, especially lately, hasn't been good. He pitched better since he came out the IL. He hasn't been good. Just a game I'm going to stay away. But I lean Indians full game -125.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I've been disappointed by Quantrill, but I will say this: when doing the digging in this game, I did find that at home he's been, I don't want to say good, but he's been a lot better at home than he's been on the road. Definitely. So, and again, Kansas City ain't hitting, so this is in theory a spot for a good start or good performance, in my opinion, for Quantrill. We'll see if he can deliver. Sharpie, what do you think?
This game, I'm looking at Mike Minor's K-prop at 5.5. It's -140. I need to talk to my buddy Chris G about it and see if Mike Minor's on that list to be watching, because his last 3 games, his runs and hits wise says he should probably a guy that we need to be looking into. But if I dig through it, his 8 straight games versus teams that don't strike out 27% or higher. And he hasn't gone up, and then 9th and 10th, he went up against 2 teams and he had 9 and 8. So when he's gone up against teams at 27% K rate, he's gotten 8 and 9, and it's at a 5.5. Cleveland's at 29% the last 15 days, 29% the last 30 days. So that's going to be something I'm going to dig into a little bit. And if his spin rate's the same, I'm going to ride his K-prop over.
All right, we got Cincinnati and Milwaukee next game. Vladimir Gutierrez, Freddie Peralta on the mound here. Milwaukee, big favorites here, minus pretty much 210 here across the board. 8.5 the total in this game. Freddie Peralta, who has had really a terrific season for the Milwaukee Brewers, 2.23 ERA. They are 11-5 in his 16 starts. 1.72 ERA for him at home. He's been absolutely consistent. 2 runs or less in each of his last 10 starts. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. He has been consistent. He's been giving them length. He's gone 7-7, 4-7, 6-6. I mean, this is, going 6-7 innings in a ball game these days for a starter is not always a given. So Freddie Peralta's been doing that for the Brewers, which has been good to see. He's faced the Reds 3 times this year, shut him down pretty much all 3, 2 runs in 4 innings, 1 run in 4 innings, 2 runs in 7 innings in those 3 games. So he's pitched well against the Reds this year. Vladimir Gutierrez on the mound for the Reds. He's had a couple of rough starts against Cincinnati. Outside of that, he's been pretty good against the other teams he's faced. Gave up just 2 runs to the Brewers, 2 runs to the Cardinals, 2 runs to the Royals in his last starts. So interesting to see how he fares here. He has a 4 ERA on the road. I certainly don't want to go against Peralta, but I think Gutierrez might be able to hang in there. We saw last night's game. In fact, both of the first 2 games in this series, stay under the total. Brewers now have trended under now in 5 straight, then 6 straight. If you throw in the second game of that, that was a push in that game with the total, but 5-0-1 to the under in their last 6 games. So could this be a first 5 under look potentially? I mean, obviously with the Reds, you'd prefer first 5 under because their bullpen's not very good. Milwaukee's is, but Cincinnati's not so much. So I'd actually lean a little first 5 under here in this game. What do you think here, Conor Mac?
Yeah, that's what I'm on here. And we'll see. Like you said, Gutierrez, the 3rd time seeing the Brewers, though. He's only gave up 2 runs both those starts. Peralta's been good as well. So that's what I was staring at last night and this morning. Some of these, they have good averages against Peralta, some of these Reds. Man, they haven't hit the last few days. Gotten the win, though, first 5, but definitely not scoring a ton of runs, especially with runners in scoring position. They can't get any key hits. I think there might be a little value Reds first 5, but yeah, I'm definitely zoned in on the first 5 under 4.5. The Brewers, after kind of breaking out, that lineup there's nobody in there, no names really. Adams, there's just not a ton of at bats.
Yep.
Yeah, so I definitely lean under. You can go full game at 8.5 as well. It's -120. Like you said, the Reds pen better lately, and the Brewers got a pretty good bullpen. So either one, I lean under here.
Yeah, Colton Wong as well, a pretty key bat in that lineup, also out for the Brewers right now, no question. Look, I'm not the UFC expert, but I've got a bunch of sources I rely on for UFC for tonight for plays. And I'll tell you one thing, one of them is Clint McLean, who does a great job on this channel right here on Pub Sports Radio with Die Hard MMA podcast every week, because I know he does the work. I know he eats, breathes, and sleeps this stuff. So, you've got a guy that does the research and knows everything he can about each and every fighter, each and every fight on the card. And I can tell you he likes the over in that main event tonight, McGregor and Poirier. It kind of feels that way. Like they fought each other twice. It's a trilogy match, trilogy fight. It feels like one where, both guys are going to tiptoe their way into the fight a little bit, try to, let the fight breathe a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Let's try to pace ourselves a little bit. It's a 5-round main event as well. So to me, I know people are going to be thinking, wow, we had a quick knockout from Poirier in the second round the last time they met, but I think the over is the value in that main event tonight. Again, and I'm saying this because I've talked to multiple people. It's not just Clint. There's other people that I respect when it comes to UFC that are saying the same thing. They think the over could get there. You're over 1.5, you're over 2.5 in this fight, could get there in that main event. David, what do you think here, Reds and Brewers?
My biggest bet of the night on the fight is round 3 to start at -125 for that McGregor.
There you go.
Fight.
There's another one for you. Yep.
And shout out to Billy Brisbane in the Discord and with Pub Sports Radio. He up 17.5 units this year and keeps track of every one of his MMA plays. So go follow that guy for some plays, guys. He's cashing. Yep. I'm on the under 8.5 at -110, fellas. I know Ian said that Cincinnati's bullpen isn't good, but my numbers say they are. They're number 3 and 6 the last 15 days and the last 30 days ERA wise. And Milwaukee's right next to them. So at 2-2. So they've both done well versus the opposition. I mean, they play into the under, like Ian said. Like, this to me is just super, super under spot. And I can't take Peralta's K prop. I had him at a 7.5 or a 6.5 marked down last night when I did my homework. They put that shit at 8.5, guys. If you want to put your money on an 8.5 strikeout prop versus a team that doesn't really strike out, best of luck to you. That's not for me.
Except Suarez,
you're right.
when there's men on base.
That seems like a big number. You're absolutely right about that with the strikeout prop. I agree with you there.
He hasn't hit 8 or 9 versus this team. He's got 2 6s and a 7 and 3 starts. I don't see why you would want to even look at it.
Yeah, it's high.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at recent numbers that he's gotten, no question. Cardinals and Cubs, Kwang Hyun Kim, Zach Davies, the pitching matchup here. We've got the Cubbies minus 115 home favorites, 8 the total here, pretty much across the board. Be careful here. Looks like there's a potential we may not see this game get played tonight between the Cardinals and Cubs. We're looking at rain all night, above 50% chance. So I'm thinking there's going to be a delay, or if not an outright postponement here between these two teams, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because the Cardinals, I won't back them on the road, and I've had my fill of backing the Cubs for a little bit. Right now I'm not in a rush to get to the well with them. These two teams are about as frustrating as it gets, maddening and inconsistent and erratic. Same with these pitchers. Kim can be good, Kim can be terrible and lose the strike zone. Davies can be terrific and just shut you down, and he can also get lit up sometimes. So I wasn't really going to have a strong opinion on this game either way. The fact that it probably won't get played just makes it even better in my opinion. So I don't have much here. Connor, what do you think here? Cardinals, Cubs?
Yeah, I don't have much either. The Cardinals do have success against Davies in the past. Some of these guys, Carpenter, 13 for 27, 3 home runs. Arenado, 6 for 22 with a homer. We know their struggles against righties is difficult. The wind's blowing in like 10. I kind of thought the over. I know there was a ton of runs yesterday. It was, 10-5 or whatever in the final there. And the Cardinals just hard to trust. Same thing with the Cubs. I know they scored some runs yesterday, and they hit lefties better. But they seem like they're sellers. They want to get to the All-Star break. They've just been losing. Not playing good baseball, even coming back home here. Difficult one. I lean the over, even with the wind kind of blowing in. I don't love it. I'm passing.
All right, Sharpie, anything for you, Cardinals, Cubs?
I'm off this game. Nope, not for me.
Don't blame you. It's probably not even going to get off the ground anyway, this game. So
yeah,
I don't blame you at all. Yankees and Astros, Garrett Cole and Zach Greinke. Greinke, don't lose that fastball for Houston. Pretty much even money here, both sides in this game. Total 8.5 here. What's happened to the Houston Astros lineup the last 2 days? Wow. We're talking about how great this lineup was for extended stretches, like pretty much a solid month where they were just mashing opposing pitching. And now the last 2 games, there's shut out last night by the Yankees. 1 run the day before against Montas. So 1 run in the last 2 games for this Astros lineup. And look, it's an Astros lineup that, Correa is out indefinitely, but Bregman's still on the IL as well. But, there's still plenty of their key bats in there. So it's really shocking to see how they haven't hit. They've just been completely shut down the last 2 games. Can they bounce back here in this game today against Garrett Cole? And look, the secret's out. I mean, there's no question about that. He can sugarcoat it all he wants, in my opinion, but this has not been the same Garrett Cole. And then you can trace it back to the crackdown. Simple as that. When the crackdown started, so did the decline for Garrett Cole. 5 runs against the Rays, and he's labored in every start. He, pretty much 2 runs against the Twins, but labored. 2 runs against the Royals, and 6 runs against the Red Sox 2 starts ago. Against the Mets last time out, brutal. 4 runs, 6 hits, 3.1 innings. The home run ball is what's getting them. And again, lack of spin on your ball. Guess what? The ball is going to be more hittable when it's out over the strike zone. And that's what we're seeing for Garrett Cole. He has given up 10 home runs in his last 6 starts. That's alarming. That really is. 10 home runs in his last 6 starts for Garrett Cole. God, you got to think Houston gets their act together offensively here today. Zach Greinke, who's been pretty solid for the most part, but even the home run ball's gotten him a little bit. He's given up at least a home run 7 of his last 8 starts, and during those 8 starts overall, he's given up 8 home runs. So the long balls plagued him a little bit. We'll see a 5.26 ERA for him at home. I think you could play this game a bunch of different ways. I do like Houston a little bit here. First 5 in full game split. More on the first 5, though, because I think Cole is just completely shattered right now because of this crackdown that's been implemented by Major League Baseball. I think Houston can get their bats going. I'd look at Houston first 5, Houston team total over. I wouldn't talk anyone out of a full game over too, because I do have some worrisome numbers here for Greinke a little bit here in this game as well going into this one. But specifically, I think Houston first 5 and team total. I like maybe a sprinkle on the full game over as well. Connor, what do you think here? Yankees and Astros.
Yeah, can the Astros get going? Could Garrett Cole be the guy to finally score some runs? They've been won the last 2 games. One spot with the A's and nothing last night. They couldn't get anything going. You got to think at home in this one, they'll probably be up a little bit for it. Yeah, go Cole without the sticky stuff. He reminds me, I know he was younger, but his Pirates days. Good pitcher, but his ERA, is like in the 3.4s. He still got good stuff, but he throws a heater, he can get rocked. Yeah, I like the Astros first 5 here. You can get around even money. Maybe the bats break out. Now they've hung down an 8.5 minus 105. I don't know, maybe you can find an 8. But I lean over here in this game. The Yankees have some solid numbers off Greinke. A lot of these guys have seen him. LeMahieu's 20 for 66. Stanton 6 for 23 with 3 home runs. Maybe a jack of the day guy. He talked about Greinke giving up home runs. Giancarlo, former Mike Stanton, maybe go deep tonight.
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Mike Stanton. I've called him that before in the past. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I think we should. I said we should see some runs last night, and obviously that didn't happen. But I think Houston in a bounce back spot to win a team total over. I like for them, and I wouldn't mind the full game over as well. David, what do you think here? Yankees Astros.
I was on your guys' sites of seeing the Astros and all that until I wrote down shit on the paper and I got to the numbers and I seen the Astros are the worst fucking team in baseball versus right-handers the last 2 weeks. They're 30th in the fucking league, guys. I can't back that.
Yeah.
The Astros, like, what the fuck, bro? This was the best team a week ago. They're not right now, guys. They're missing way too many people, bro. And I know Garrett Cole. That's a guy I've been fading, bro, but with a team that's not hitting, I went Yankees team total over 4.5 at plus money. I know what Greinke is, and I know what those Yankee bats can do, and they've been hitting lately. The Yankee bats have been there. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Cole, and I'm taking him out the freaking get. So I'm on the Yankees team total, and I'm actually going to look into that Garrett Cole strikeout prop at 6.5 plus 120. I want to see how this Astro team's been at the plate the last 2 weeks. I got to do that math.
Yeah, I mean it's the Astros it's a head scratcher. How their lineup just went from just hitting everything in sight to not hitting a lick, especially of course the last 2 games. Maybe the trash cans got taken away in these last 2 games from them. I had to go there. Yeah, absolutely had to go there. Yeah. Maybe the buzzers and the trash cans got taken out of the Minute Maid juice box there, the Minute Maid Park. Angels and Mariners, Sandoval and Flexen, the Reflexen. We've got Angels here right now, minus 110. Actually, it's pretty much even money, both sides, 8.5 the total in this one. How about Mitch Haniger stepping up with a grand slam in the 8th inning last night for the Mariners, 7-3. Made me happy because I took over the total in that game, and it got there thanks to that grand slam. All right, next time up here, Chris Flexen's been really, really good at home. In Seattle, he's got a sub-2 ERA. This season for the Mariners. So he's pitched extremely well here in this ballpark. Patrick Sandoval, the lefty for the Angels on the mound, who I was thinking was going to be fade material for me when he first started making this rotation, making appearances, I should say, in this rotation. But he's actually pitched better than I thought. Now, the last 3 starts, actually pretty much the majority of his starts has been solid. He's gone 9 straight starts with 3 runs allowed or less. The Angels have won 4 straight with him on the mound. With Flexen on the mound for the Mariners, they are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. And like I said, look at the home performances here for Chris Flexen. 1 run against Texas, 1 run against Colorado, shutout in 8 innings against the Minnesota Twins, shutout in 3 innings against Texas, 1 run in 5.2 innings against Cleveland. That's how you get a 1.99 ERA. 7-2, by the way, the Mariners in the 9 home starts this season for Flexen. So I'm off this game entirely right now, to be honest with you. I mean, Seattle with those numbers for Flexen at home, I don't want to go against that. And look, Seattle beat the Angels, and I'm worried about the Angels lineup a bit. They have been hitting great for the better part of the last couple weeks, but there are some concerns right now. You got Justin Upton on the IL. You've got Rendon on the IL. I know it's not been a great season for Rendon, but still, you've got some more absences piling up on this lineup. So they have done great work to get what they've gotten from your Walshes and your Fletchers and your Max Stassi's, Iglesias, Rojas, Renfigo, and of course Shohei keeps doing his thing. But I'm worried that this lineup continues to get weaker and weaker with injuries. Eventually, it's going to show up, and they're going to go through a little bit of a slump at the plate. Maybe you're going to start seeing that for the Angels. So if I were to play this game, I would look towards Seattle, but not a strong opinion. Connor, what do you think here? Angels, Mariners.
Yeah, I think I got to roll with flexing at home. Why get off it? What was it? April 30th, long time ago, at home. I believe he was at home, flexing 4 innings, 3 runs to these Angels. So, but since then, he's pitched really, really well at home. I lean the Mariners, and yeah, I lean the first 5 under 4.5 here at -120. We'll see with Sandoval, though. Can I trust him on the road? He's pitched a lot better lately, but those are my initial leans. We're the under and a lean to the Mariners full game.
All right, David, what do you like here? Angels, Mariners.
I was mad that they gave Sandoval a 6.5 on his K prop. I played a 5.5 versus Seattle. Sandoval last time out, he had 10. This guy is 75% to the number when facing a team who strikes out at a 27% clip, and we've got Seattle who's at 29%. I'm on the over 4.5, guys. First 5. The Angels smash righties. I know they are missing people, but David Fletcher is the hottest fucking guy in baseball right now, guys. If he gets on, he's scoring. And they both faced each other. Angels flexing. They both gave up 3 runs in less than 5 innings last time out. So there's 6 runs through them two. I'm leaning Sandoval's K prop. Need to dig into it a little more. Even at 6.5, I still see him getting 8 or 9. This guy's I actually thought it was Pablo Sandoval when I first saw this fucking name. And my kid made fun of me. He's like, "You think that fat fuck's out there pitching?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "That's the third baseman, you dipshit." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Well, he's winning me money." So
that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Yeah.
I've gotten him fucked up this year. And Peacock. The Peacock for Arizona, I thought that was Brad Peacock. Like the old fucking Astros.
I know, Matt. It's Matt Peacock. You're right. I got screwed up on that initially.
I was fading him the first 2 times out and winning money and not knowing it was that guy. But I'm looking at Sandoval's K prop and I'm on the over 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani, it goes without saying. Ohtani to hit a home run, I just bet that. I actually honestly just bet that every game. I don't even care who's pitching on the other side. And you're still getting, plus 260, even plus 300 in some spots. You're going to see Styx tonight, Jason Falk. Good stuff. Enjoy that concert. Yeah, a good band.
MVP, baby. Ohtani, yeah. MVP. Finally got Max, a Toronto guy, to finally say it last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Jarek, good to see you in the chat. The guy that's watched my hockey show a lot, been busy, didn't get time to see the Ice Guys season farewell. Time to grind the base. Welcome into the baseball show. Hope you're going to tune in regularly here to the MLB Closing Time show. Diamondbacks and Dodgers here. We've got Caleb Smith and Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. Dodgers taking a massive shock here, minus 320. Home favorites, 8 the total in this one. I generally don't like betting against the Dodgers when they lose the previous game. And, of course, we have the Dodgers coming off last night where they lose 5-2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers have lost 4 of their last 5 all of a sudden. They lost 3 of 4 to Miami. Long road trip from Miami to L.A., a little hungover. Yeah, I could excuse them a little bit for that spot. Caleb Smith, the lefty for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't fully trust him. He struggled in his last start. We'll see how he fares here. Walker Buehler, obviously, you could have this is the guy you'd want for the most part, in a spot where you're trying to bounce back. 2.53 ERA. Just a game I'm going to stay away from. Obviously, I like the Dodgers to bounce back, but my goodness, I mean, absolutely no bargain whatsoever. Dodgers north of minus 300 here. Connor, what do you think with the the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers?
Yeah, Buehler minus 310. Just wow. I think the Dodgers bounce back. Caleb Smith, June 18th against the Dodgers, 6 innings, no runs. We talked about the Dodgers with lefties. of course, they're a little bit better now. Pollock's healthy. They get Pujols. They go to a whole right-handed lineup. But I took the D-backs last night. I don't know about here. It's all about Caleb Smith. I think Buehler comes out, pitches well at home. He walks a lot of guys, and that's not good with the Dodgers. They have great plate discipline, and they walk Muncy. All those guys have good eye. Turner. So if these walking guys, runs could be scored. Because initially I kind of wanted to take the first 5 under 4.5 or even 4 here. It's even money. That was just a lean. But, the price is huge. You got to go Dodger alt line, whatever here to even get a good number on the Dodgers. I don't know if the D-backs could do it again, first 5. It's tempting. I took the half run last night. We got it, me and Sharpe. And I don't know about today, though.
All right, Sharpe, what do you like here in this one, Dodgers and Diamondbacks?
Yeah, Connor got me on that one, got me looking at it. I was his bet, and I ended up tailing it. So good looking, bro. Looking into Widener, bro, I didn't know he was really that fucking good and that he was a top prospect for the Yankees. A lot of people can't take that New York fucking heat, bro. But Dodgers were also coming off a huge road trip too. That was also another thing we were looking into. Like, you got to look into fading teams after a long road trip, guys. It is what it is. They're just getting home, and their wife's giving them the baby in the trash bag, dog. It's back to normal life.
Yeah.
My best bet's going to come in this game later on.
Right.
Buehler was at 6.5 strikeouts. He's now at 7.5. His spin rate has gone down a lot, guys, but he's still throwing 98, so he's going to get his strikeouts. He's still going to be a solid guy, but he is going to give up 2-3 runs here and there like he has been the last few games out. They jumped it to a 7.5 since we've been on the show. It's now at plus money. I don't know about that one, but I do have Caleb Smith written down because I was watching the game last week, and he was going against DeGrom. And it's a stat they said, and I had to write it down. He is 0-11 at bat with 10 strikeouts. You're going to get 2 strikeouts from him with Walker Buehler. You could fucking guarantee that, bro. This pitcher strikes out every fucking time he's at bat. So take that into your capping skills tonight, guys, because that's 2 strikeouts. And at 6.5, I should have jumped. 7.5 is going to make me rethink it.
All right, awesome stuff. We are going to get to our final game on the card in just a second. Before we do, 7th inning stretch time. We want to shout out everybody in the chat, or at least as many people as possible. I don't know if we'll mention every single person in the chat. We are talking about 240 live viewers, but I will try to hit everybody that's joined us. Robert Cherry, Brian Watson, Lucky Power, not applicable, Saran Terry, JT, Javier Gonzalez, Cheshire Cat, Andre, Billy Brisbane, Brian Watson, Anthony Ambronio, Platinum Paul, Jason Falk, John Chow, Eric Chang, Andre, Big Show Picks. We've got Keon Jackson. We appreciate John Roy, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Ty Clinton, Abel Alvarez, Eric Rosas, Gerald Jones, everybody in the MMA locker room. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us here on this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. And a reminder, we've got a huge UFC card tonight. If you want some live betting, you want some entertainment, you just want someone to hang with, if you don't have your own party going on, you just want to hang with someone, watch the fights, get our live stream up here on Pub Sports Radio tonight and check out the live stream for UFC 264, Poirier McGregor 3. It's going to start at 6:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Right as the first prelim fight begins is when that live stream will begin. So again, check it out live, 6:15 Eastern, UFC 264. The live betting stream right here on Pub Sports Radio. Don't you dare miss it. All of us excited for the fight card tonight. All right, let's get to our final game of this Saturday slate. Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres. We've got the Padres here, minus 195, home favorite, 7.5 the total, shaded to the under. German Marquez for the Rockies, Joe Musgrove for the Padres. Cashed it, got it done last night. Thank you, Rockies. First 5 innings, and only the first 5 because I knew that bullpen was going to blow it, and that's exactly what they did. But Kyle Freeland got it done for me, and the Rockies had a 2-1 lead after the 5th inning. Got that big plus price, plus 190 I took with the Rockies' first 5 innings last night, and they got there for me. guess what? I'm tempted to come right back to it. A first five here with the Rockies in this game. They're playing well early in games, and then they're finding ways to lose late because they can't have a bullpen that just can't get outs. Simple as that. And Marquez has been terrific. Marquez has been arguably the best starter this season for the Rockies. They are 11-7 in his 18 starts. He has accounted for nearly a third, almost 33% of Colorado's victories this season. Germán Marquez. That tells you how solid he's been. He's been a little bit more hittable on the road. I get that, but even lately on the road, he's been a little bit better. And the Rockies 7-1 8-1 they are in his last 9 starts. So they have been consistently winning with Marquez. You still worry about the bullpen coming in though after, which is why I prefer Colorado first 5 once again tonight. Just like last night, I prefer the first 5 than the full game. And look, Joe Musgrove has been hittable the last 2 starts. 5 runs given up to the Reds, only lasted 4 innings. 5 runs and 7 hits in 5 innings against the Nationals in his last start. So Joe Musgrove's had a couple of rough outings here for the San Diego Padres of late. He dominated the Rockies earlier this season. I've got to say that, though. Back in May, shut him out in 7 innings with 11 strikeouts. So that does concern me. But, hey, you're going to be concerned anytime you're taking a team getting this price because they're getting this price for a reason. I'm on Colorado again, first 5 innings. I like it. I think this is a close game early. Marquez, you could even say, is probably in a little bit better form recently than Musgrove. So I like Colorado first 5, taking the plunge again with them as a big dog early in the game. Conor Mac, what do you think? Rockies, Padres.
Yeah, this one's interesting here. Marquez is pitching, like you said, really, really well. But can he continue it on the road? He's even been able to do it a little bit on the road here lately. Musgrove, on the other hand, big, huge home price. He's been touched up a little bit where he was so dominant earlier in the year. He had a no-hitter, all that good stuff. It's just tough with me here. I think these pitchers could pitch well early, or I could see him get touched. This total's only 7.5. You're getting plus money on the over. And you got some good numbers against these guys. The Padres have hit Marquez well. Of course, they see him a lot with Machado, Myers, a couple homers, Hosmer, 6 for 20 with a homer. And the Rockies got all right numbers off Musgrove. I'm going a whole bunch of different ways here. I lean the over, kind of full game over 7.5, and I lean with you. Maybe a little bit on the Rockies first 5, plus 155.
Yeah, another good price there. What do you think, Sharpie, Colorado, San Diego?
I'm going to have to change your mind a little bit, Ian. Freeland gave up 3 of those 4 runs yesterday. Those were counted to him, not to the Colorado bullpen. Colorado's bullpen has been way better than the Padres bullpen the last 15 days and better than the Padres bullpen the last month. We got Colorado at number 10 and the Padres at 23. So I'm on Colorado first 5 at plus 0.5. And with Marquez, you could tell within the first 45 pitches. Shout out to my boy Maxwell Smart. He's told me this, and it's fucking followed true. If he's got his shit after 45 pitches, he's going 7-8 innings, guys. And that's when you live bet the fucking Rockies to win the game at that plus money. Yep. If he's gone 3 innings, 45 pitches, and he's got his shit, take Marquez and just ride it, guys. It's been really profitable. He falls apart in the first few innings, or he's got his shit and he rides it. So something to look forward to on that game. But I'm on the first 5 plus 0.5 at even money.
You mentioned the Padres, though, because of that bullpen, they've been pitching a lot. That's why I think they've been getting hit, too. They've been taxed kind of a lot lately. A lot of these starters haven't been getting good starts, whether it's Darvish, Paddock, all these guys, all those starters.
Starts to where they have to go bullpen days?
Yeah, Snell, he's missing. So a little bit hard there on that. But, yeah, you nailed on Marquez. We talked about it. Yeah, Max talked about it. Marquez, if he can get through that kind of first inning, the second, usually he can get rolling, has a good outing.
There's no question, and that's a good point. You're right. The Rockies bullpen, it's I keep thinking there's a couple games about a month ago they blew the game, and I remember that because I think I was on one of them, and I'm like, but they have been a little bit better. They got me a save one game. I remember they played St. Louis. Daniel Bard came in, and he got the job done. It was a little bit tricky. I mean, there were a couple guys on base, but he got out of it. Look, Daniel Bard, I give him credit. He's, it's a bit of a reclamation project here in this Rockies bullpen. Remember, he was with the Red Sox all those years. That was a long time ago when Daniel Bard was with the Red Sox, and now he's here with the Rockies, and he's actually pitched all right for them. So I think we're all in that Colorado could be live here tonight.
I don't know the exact stat on the Colorado Rockies' first 5 wins on the road, but Dave Koken tweeted out last night they finally got a win on the road first 5. So was that their first fucking time they won on the road first 5? Like
no, it's like their 7th.
Okay,
it's been a while. Most of them were early.
It's just been a while. Yeah,
I put the plus half run for that reason. I'm like, I'm not taking them straight up if they ain't winning first 5, bro.
No doubt about that. All right, awesome show. We're giving you almost 90 minutes here of solid gold. And because the hockey season's over, I don't have a hockey show right after anymore, this show. So we can stretch our legs, if you will. We can go a little bit longer with the show, give you even better analysis. And we certainly hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all 260 viewers joining us right now for the MLB Closing Time Show. Hit the like button. Please do it. 260 live viewers. If you like what you see, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Pub Sports Radio, we appreciate it. We will get to our best bets and Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Town 101. When you're in San Antonio, stop in for a bite to eat, some pints, and live music, DJs, karaoke at Southtown 101, our great sponsors here at Pub Sports Radio. Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports, 20% off your purchase of the Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved, in any product you get from Manscaped, 20% off with the promo code Pub Sports. And mybookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. The NBA Finals still ongoing. We've got baseball daily. Football season is right around the corner. I'm hard at work getting ready for the football season as we speak. NFL and college, you can't wait for it to be here. No better time than right now. Get yourself ready for the football season. Sign up for an account at mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. Check out mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Pub Sports. All right, it is time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
Jack of the Day, we've got a few candidates here today. I like Yordan Alvarez against Garrett Cole. He's hit 2 home runs against him. I like that quite a bit for a Jack of the Day candidate. Didi Gregorius against Martin Perez, Phillies for the Phillies. I like that quite a bit for Jack of the Day. I also like there's one more I saw. Oh, yeah, Flores against Leicester. Definitely interested in that as well. That's about it. I'm going to keep it to that. We're going to tighten the belt. Oh, by the way, couple of Jays, Teoscar Hernandez and Vlad Jr. against Ryan Yarbrough. Combined 6 home runs against Ryan Yarbrough. So Vlad Jr., Teoscar Hernandez for the Blue Jays as well. There you go. Connor, how about you for Jack of the Day?
Yeah, I think Hernandez and Vladdy, you got to go with him. I look at Josh Bell. He's got a couple homers, 10 for 26. Steve Scott. You mentioned Flores. There's just a couple others. Didi, 3 home runs. I think that's just about it. There, my guy Adam Duvall, 3 for 6 with 2 home runs off Max Fried. And last, Mike Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton now, 3 home runs. Jack of the Day.
All right, good stuff. Sharpie, any Jack of the Day candidates? And if not, tell us what your best bet is.
I'm gonna go. Best bet is going to go to the Marlins game. I know I was thinking Dodgers, but I got to give the best bet. I'm going Max Fried over 5.5 minus 140. The Miami Marlins are striking out at a 31K percentage, guys. That's a number where it's an automatic play. So take Fried over 5.5. Thank me later. And then add on Caleb Smith at 5.5 at even money and be like, good job, Sharpie. Thanks for the money.
He's been good with the strikeout props. You may want to listen. Max Fried over strikeouts. Caleb Smith for the Diamondbacks over both 5.5 strikeouts for Sharpe. Two best bets, two strikeout prop best bets for David Sharpe, joining us every Saturday on this show. Conor Mac, best bet.
1 second, too. My bad.
Yeah.
Take Conor McGregor round 1 and live bet Dustin Poirier at the plus money, guys. I kept seeing people's thoughts on that. That's what I'm doing, and I know a lot of people doing that too.
All right, there you go. Conor Mac, from Conor McGregor to Conor Mac. What do you like here for your best bet?
Back to Mac. Yeah, McGregor, he comes out. He comes out crazy that first round, gives everything trying for that knockout. So yeah, that's a great bet. And Sozik over 2.5, third round to start, all that. I think it goes further. I like it. And check out our guys tonight here, Pub Sports Radio, Nikki, everybody. Sharpie might be on there. I might jump on, but Billy, Big Show, all the guys.
Check out Billy's UFC read-up post, guys. Go check him out on Twitter.
Yeah. Check them all out. They're the shit. The live stream is great, and it'll be great tonight. My best bet, man, this card is massive. And I like a few here. I'm going to fade Leicester. I like the game over 8.5, but I'm going to go with the Giants team total over 4.5, minus 120, just to make sure. I think they score off him. The old man Morton, old man Leicester here is getting to him. Give me the team total over 4.5, minus 120. I like the full game too, over 8.5, but best bet, team total over 4.5.
All right, team total over 4.5, San Francisco Giants. Best bet for Conor Mac. And my best bet is going to be the same goddamn best bet I lost with yesterday, and I'm coming back to it today. Yankees and Astros over 8.5 here. The more I look at Greinke, I'm concerned about him. He hasn't been as good in Houston. The Yankees are starting to hit. The Astros bullpen ain't good, so they could always add on runs late as well. But I'm convinced Houston's lineup is going to wake the fuck up and do something tonight against Garrett Cole. It's just trending in a really, really bad way right now and giving up home runs, which ain't good. Even against the Astros, they can still mash the long ball. And if he's struggling with that again tonight, I think this could be the night we finally get the bats to awaken from their sleep for the Houston Astros. So we're going to go with that. Yankees Astros over 8.5. This is the Fox national televised game in most of the country tonight as well. So nationally televised game. Yankees Astros over 8.5. Best bet for me. That'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show for Saturday, July 10th. Thanks to our special guest, David Sharpe, as he always does, for joining us on Saturdays. And we will be back tomorrow. Final MLB Closing Time Show before the All-Star break. And for me, it'll be the final show I do baseball-wise till like July 21st. It's going to be a nice little break for me. I will still be doing the NBA Pub Hub on the days of the NBA Finals over the next week or two. But I'll be off the baseball show after tomorrow until Wednesday, July 21st. So just looking forward to a nice little mental break, a little reset, recharge the batteries. So it'll be good. Looking forward to it. But we have one last show tomorrow. Looking forward to that, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on Pub Sports Radio, MLB Closing Time. For Conor Mac and David Sharpe, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. Enjoy the UFC card tonight. Join the live stream tonight, 6:15, if you want to. We appreciate that. We thank everyone for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow on Sunday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.
We be pubbing.